Have you ever noticed that your camera's focus seems a bit off when shooting at large apertures? I'm not talking about a completely blurry photo here. I'm talking about a situation where there is sharp focus in the photo, but it's just in front of or just behind the area you focused on. An example of this would be like when you focus on your subject's eyes and their nose is more in focus, or maybe their ears are more in focus than the eyes. If you are noticing this issue consistently happening in your photos, then perhaps you have a front focus or a back focus issue. In this video, I'll explain how to recognize both front and back focus issues with your camera. And I've created many videos on improving your photography and videography skills, and I'll link to those in the comment section below, and both during and at the end of this video, so stay tuned. If you want to learn more, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos. I upload videos every week. By the end of this video, you'll have a thorough understanding of what front and back focus is. Hi, I'm Jim Costa. I'm a videography, photography, and technology guru, and I created this blog to help you to become a tech-savvy senior. Now, my tips and advice are useful to anyone, but my specific focus is in helping seniors to become more familiar with technology to improve and better their lives. If you have a camera question, go ahead and leave a comment below. I do read all the comments people leave, and yes, I actually do personally respond to each and every one of them as well. First, what is front focus and back focus? It's pretty straightforward, really. When the autofocus on your camera focuses the lens, it establishes a focal plane in front of your camera. Anything on this focus plane will be in focus. Depending upon the aperture setting of your lens and the distance from the camera, there will be a depth of field where objects in front of the focal plane and behind the focal plane will also appear to be in focus. This depth of field increases as your aperture on the lens gets smaller in diameter. For those new to aperture, the larger the f number, the smaller the aperture, and vice versa. At larger aperture values, since the depth of field is increased, any slight variance between the actual focal plane of the camera and the camera's autofocus will probably not even be noticeable, since both will fall within about the acceptable depth of field area. But when you lower the aperture value and increase the size of the aperture opening, the depth of field decreases. This decrease in the depth of field can be pretty dramatic for lenses that will allow aperture settings of 2.8 or 1.4 or anything else in that range. With a razor-thin depth of field, a variance between the camera's autofocus and the actual focus plane can be very noticeable indeed. If you were taking a portrait shot of Aunt Betty's daughter and you are certain you were focusing right on her forward eye, but when you checked the photo in the computer and her nose was more in focus, then maybe you have a problem. Most front and back focusing problems are usually human error. If we are using a wide open aperture and we are hand holding the camera, just breathing and rocking back and forth can throw off your focal plane. Let's say you're using a nice brand new 35mm f1.4 portrait lens and you are doing a tight headshot with the lens wide open from about 7 feet away. This sounds reasonable to any photographer. You would know what I'm talking about. Well, at that distance, on a crop sensor camera, your total depth of field is only a little over an inch. So if you breathe too hard and move the camera even slightly forward or back, you can throw the whole image out of focus. In that case, the front or back focus would be due to human error and not to the camera and lens combination. The same would hold true if your subject moved slightly from the time you focused to the time you actually took the shot. A lot of us engage in the practice of using the center focusing point on the camera to achieve the focus lock and then recompose the shot. All this movement of the camera can lead to some forward and backward movement, which could throw your focus off its mark. Now, if this is making sense to you, put Tech Savvy Senior in the comments section below. My question of the day is, have you ever experienced focusing issues, and if so, what did you do to correct them? Now, do you want to see more videos like this? Follow my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, for more. Think what you saw was great? Go ahead and like it. Do you have an opinion? Then comment below. Do you know someone who could benefit from the information I provided? Share the video. Do you want to learn even more? If so, then connect with Jim Costa Films on social media and online on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course on the web. I currently have over 4,200 videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, so feel free to check out many of my other videos for great tips and suggestions. Now, I also have a new Facebook group called Video Producers and Content Creators, so look for that to connect there and join the group for even more pro tips and tricks.